Hello YouTube. Alright, I got a comment on one of my videos, one of my turntable videos. It's a guy who's kind of new to turntables. He mentioned getting a certain model turntable, which I have yet to look up. But I figured I've never really done a basic run-through of setting up of turntables. I mean, once you get the hang of it, it's really simple. So once you're past the basic steps, it'll be like no problem. You know, it's like hooking up. It's like hooking up a stereo, pretty much. It's like hooking up a CD player to your stereo. You know. So basic setup of a turntable. Here we have my Sony PSX5 turntable here, which dates probably from either the 70s or the 80s. Could be 90s, but I'm not sure. It looks early 70s to maybe the early 80s to me. I have no idea when this is from. Either way, it's a turntable. What do you get with a turntable? You get records, you get the platter, you get the head shell, you get the stylus, which is the needle, and you get, well, this is the head shell. There's the cartridge, that's the stylus. You have the tone arm. You have, if your turntable happens to have one of these, you have to weight it properly. You weight, the way you weight this is you turn it back until this thing's basically, well, you move it off of here, but when you're not even touching it, it floats there. That's the weight you want it to be. Then you move the little indicator to 0. Not the weight, just the indicator to 0. Then you typically want to set it to 1.5 if it's not a DJ needle. This, however, is a DJ needle, so I have it set to about 3.5, which is really heavy for most needles, actually. So that's a special case right there. Some turntables have controls for the automatic mechanism, such as selecting the size of your disc, such as a 7-incher, 10-incher, or a 12-incher, or a manual. Manual is pretty nice, actually. So most turntables you can buy new these days play these two speeds, 45, 33. Rarely do they play 78s anymore, because, you know, 78s, you look at them the wrong way and they break because they're made of shellac instead of vinyl. Now here's the basic setup of a turntable. You know, you plug it in through AC power, and you have the wires that hook into the back of whatever you're hooking it up to. In my case, it's this receiver. Now some turntables come with a grounding wire like this. It can be bare wire or it can be a horseshoe like this that you screw into the back of somewhere on the chassis of the device you're plugging it into. It's basically, if you've ever hooked up a VCR, hooking up a turntable should be no problem. But the thing you have to know is when hooking up turntables is that not every receiver and your computer, and if it's a computer, definitely will not have a phono preamp in it. So if your turntable does not have a built-in preamp, you're going to want to buy one of those too, which you can get for about $30 on Amazon. Now this receiver happens to have a phono preamp built into it, so I don't have to worry about that. I can plug in any old turntable and it will work. Now, if this happened to not have phono preamp, you would want one of these. This is an example of a very basic phono preamp, Pile Pro. These things have no hum at all. If you have a grounding wire, you can attach it to the sides of one of these screws and just let it rip. You know, you have the in, which is where the turntable goes. You put the grounding wire, if it has one, somewhere over here. And there's the out, which goes to your receiver, computer, stereo, whatever setup you're going to use. So that's really all you have to worry about is the preamp part. Now I haven't looked up the details of that turntable you mentioned, but if it's a straight tracking arm rather than the S shape that this one is, I don't know if you can remove the thing or not, but anyway. Basically, that's the basic setup of a turntable. Now, you can get into the more intricate parts, such as adjusting where the cartridge is on the head shell, which actually can affect sound. So, yeah, that's a whole nother video, though. So you have your weighting. You have the weighting of the tone arm. You have anti-skating, which stops the record from going randomly. You know, stops from skating across the record. Hence, anti-skating. That's the basic setup of a turntable. You know, just plugging it in and getting it running, pretty much. So, that if you have any other questions, dude, then I can make more videos about turntable procedure. I just hope this clears up the basics for you. So, yeah. Have a good one, everybody. Ciao.